All right, welcome to this quick review explainer. If you're a student pilot gearing up for your private pilot license ground exam, specifically on airborne collision avoidance, you are in exactly the right place. Let's jump right in and get you ready to absolutely crush this test.
So, here's the game plan. We're going to trace a chronological flight path today. We'll hit the general rules of the air, flying the traffic pattern, negotiating the landing order, understanding visual signals, and finally, touching down on unconfined fields.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty regs, let's talk mindset. Are you ready for this? Because as the pilot in command, the ultimate responsibility for safety rests entirely on your shoulders. You're the final authority. So let's make sure you know exactly what you need to pass this exam and, keep yourself safe up there.
All right, Section 1, General Rules. Let's start with the absolute bedrock right-of-way rules that literally apply everywhere. Memorize this for the exam, okay? If you have the right-of-way, your only job is to be predictable. Just maintain your course and speed. But if you have to give way, you've got a strict rule to follow. Avoid passing over, under, or crossing ahead of the other aircraft unless you're well clear. Basically, never cut someone off. Now, it's kind of fascinating how the regulations actually frame your legal duties here. As commander, it's your job to prevent collisions regardless of what ATC tells you. An ATC clearance is definitely not a magical shield. You can never fly in dangerous proximity to others. What about formation flying? Well, everyone involved has to explicitly agree beforehand. Oh, and here's a massive exam tip. An aircraft towing a glider, that counts as one single aircraft under the command of the towing pilot. Commit that one to memory.
Moving on to Section 2, the traffic pattern.
Okay, picture this. You're entering the vicinity of an aerodrome to join the flow of traffic. Your number one goal? Predictability. You absolutely must conform to the established traffic pattern, or just keep well clear of the whole thing. And here is the golden rule. All turns should be made to the left. Standard turns are left turns. You only ever turn right if ground signals or ATC explicitly tell you to.
All right, Section 3, Order of Landing Priorities. So, what happens when multiple aircraft are all converging on the exact same runway? You need to know who touches down first. And honestly, this hierarchy is a guaranteed exam question. First up, emergencies. They get absolute priority. Give way immediately. Second, ATC commanded priority. Third, any aircraft already established on its final approach has the right of way over everything else, traffic in flight, on the ground, even on the water. And fourth, if two planes are approaching to land at the same time, the one at the lower altitude gets the right of way.
But hold on, there's a huge caveat here that traps so many students. Even though the lower altitude aircraft generally has the right of way, you can't just use that rule to aggressively dive below and overtake another pilot who's already on their final approach. No way. That aircraft on final approach is strictly protected.
Section 4, Wind, Signals, and Runways.
Okay, when you aren't talking to a tower, you've got to rely on visual cues on the ground to figure out your landing direction. Think of a white T shape in the signal square. The stem of that T points exactly in the direction you should take off and land. It's basically a giant arrow. If you see an orange windsock instead and there are no other signals, the rules say you need to take off and land directly into the wind. Just let the wind or the signals dictate your alignment.
Now, here's the kicker. Even if the wind is right, your signals are perfect, and your approach is flawless, you absolutely cannot land on a runway if another aircraft is currently occupying it. The one and only exception to this rigid rule is if the tower specifically gives you a land after clearance. If you don't hear those exact words, get ready to go around. Almost there. Section 5, Unconfined Airfield Operations. So what about wide-open, unconfined airfields? Like a massive grass field without any marked runways. The rules shift just a bit here. For the exam, left is your magic memory word. When you're landing, you need to leave clear on your left any aircraft that has already landed or is taking off. Just keep all the traffic on your left side. And once you touch down, make all your post-landing turns to the left to make sure you stay out of everyone's way. That exact same left side rule applies when you're taking off, too. Maneuver so that you leave any existing traffic clear on your left during your departure. And this is crucial. Once your wheels are firmly on the ground and you've slowed down, you need to get out of the landing area as soon as humanly possible. Don't just sit there and block the open field.
All right, we're wrapping up. If you remember literally just one concept from this whole explainer, let it be this phrase straight from the regs. Notwithstanding any ATC clearance,
It is the duty of the pilot in command to take all possible measures to ensure that his aircraft does not collide with any other. We touched on this, but it is so important. ATC is great. They help, they guide, they sequence. But you're the commander. Avoiding a collision is entirely your responsibility. Never blindly follow a clearance if it looks dangerous.
Seriously, when in doubt, just avoid the collision. So ask yourself, next time you enter a busy traffic pattern, are you ready to take ultimate responsibility for your aircraft? I really hope this breakdown makes those exam rules click for you. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe for more PPL study guides, and as always, fly safe out there.